Ladies and gents, good evening. Sorry, I'm a little bit late. I was faffing around trying to get this microphone sorted so as the audio was a bit better than just on here. So, can you? I presume you can hear me all right. I think it's all. Let me just check here. I think it's all working all right. It should be. Got everything here, but let me know in the comments that that you can hear me all right, and I'm not blown your eardrums or ruptured your TV speakers or anything. Anything like that. How are you all doing? So we've had a bit of sunshine, haven't we? It's been nice. We've been absolutely manic packing fish. I can't seem to get the delivery counter down. It's absolutely bonkers with boxes and boxes and boxes going out. And I still think if I check now, we have got 88 separate shipments to to get out the door. That's all booked in and working their way through. Remarkable stuff, it really is. And on top of that, we are absolutely flat out on our platform. The work on that, rolling new features out absolutely constantly, and I've actually got there's an auction running live at the moment as well. And I don't want to distract you from me too much, but if you are watching and your phone's handy, Ricky Stoddart, nishikigoi.com, there's some cracking Coda Tosai on there. Really, some really different varieties actually, and. Yeah, we did one lot yesterday, one lot tonight. They've gone down an absolute treat with people. We've got a conditioning service. I'm just going to keep them for another month, chunk them up a little bit more. That we've bundled in with those free of charge as well. I think the small toe site's not always. Obviously, there's demand for the stuff, but I think it's sometimes you just want a bit more on them before we release them onto you guys to give them the best chance to go on and succeed. But the nice thing with them, with the new tool, is that at the end of that period, they'll go into review. We'll give a little update on them, and likelihood is they'll be ongoing growing. You can have month to month on that as well. That's all managed through the system as well. So with them small ones, I don't like to commit too much up front, but it's a nice way of breaking it down as well, breaking the fees down. It's cool. It's nice to get that little ping and see your updates as well. So auction. We've got the anti-snipe back running tonight as well. We've been doing a bit of testing with a few other ones, and it seems to be the anti-snipe's the one I think a lot of you maybe didn't know you wanted. It's one of the most oddly frustrating but satisfying things in a lot of ways. I know that from me being sat in them in the Japanese auctions as well. So good stuff. Good stuff. Obviously, pond temperatures unheated, guys. It must be doing some serious yo-yoing right now because we've got these days with some lovely sunshine, and then of course the night times are shockingly bad. Still, they're really shockingly bad. In fact, some really fresh mornings. I need to invest in some curtains as well. I am a proper. I'm on. My clock's set on the daylight. It was 4:15 this morning. I can tell you, first light broke. That's when I've been going since, and I've managed to muster it up to get on here for you guys as questions. I didn't want to miss another week. So here I am. As soon as I am here, and I've mustered up that energy. Please get us some comments. Not comments, questions. You can leave just comments if you want. They'll be nice and easy. Fire us some questions. I can see we've had a good chunk of those going on already. And like I say, if you have got a device spare, Ricky Stoddart, nishikigoi.com, there's the auction. Lots are ending. I can see there's some anti-snipe battles going on amongst all them and all, but some really quirky fish. Deutsch Goshki, Pilgin, Rinshiro, Muji, Ginrin Goshki Showa. That's a particularly pleasant fish as well, I must say. So all happening, folks, all happening. Right, I tell you what, I've not got really much more to share with you. Oh, other than I think channel wise, some good news. Past 2 days, I've had 2 first phase interviews with some candidates. I've got 4 tomorrow, I think, and a couple on, it might be more on Friday. There's still been getting booked up. So that is looking promising. I've been, very, I was going to say enthused. Yes, it was. Enthused. I don't know why I was thinking enthused. Euthanized. It's probably what needs happening to me right now. Very. Just I'm excited. I think we'll hopefully get this one boshed out soon and finally get this channel back to the deeper educational stuff that I do need somebody here to deal with, because I literally, there is not a single moment of spare time for me doing anything outside of where we're at the moment. That's obviously been a big help. Another feature we rolled out that's just reminded me. So a cool one we got done is the submissions support ticket system. There we go. So we are currently working on building out full FAQ page, because I think the way we're working generally is so different to, you know, most other places, people who sell koi in a lot of ways with the new system, a lot of the growing stuff, the whole processes. Even down to some quality standard things that generally tend to be a bit different, that I think, you know, some people might not get their head around, i.e. the process of shipping, just for example. You know, they basically go through like a quarantine protocol before we ship them out, to make sure everything is absolutely superb. Hence why we have the cutoffs for booking. That's a process as well, that they're completely starved for a period of time to make the packing as safe as we can and manage bag pollution. So many steps to it all, which I know is not a typical norm. And it's all to make sure, obviously, you get them in absolutely prime condition. And so we're building all that out. But yeah, the support system is there because I am going to actually sit and do a full video on the platform, where it's at, where it's going, where it's all, you know, where everything's sort of heading. But one of the big ones at the moment, because it's been a problem for us, is the WhatsApp DMs, really, in a sense of from a customer support perspective, because they all need to land in one place. And unfortunately, the way WhatsApp works, they don't. So a query can land with, say, Chris or myself is the primary one, of course. Dan's been getting them, Col will get them. And it's been chaos. It's felt like chaos. It's quite overwhelming. So we've got the submission system on there, which can allow you to, you know, send a general one. You can tag it to a specific fish, specific shipment, loads of little bits like that, because we will very soon be starting a transition away from WhatsApp in all that respect. Obviously, we don't need the groups for a sales perspective anymore, although I'm still engaging with them. We've obviously got the first level of instant messaging chat on the platform as well. It's a slow transition, but it's going to start with that bit from a customer support perspective running through the platform. It's just made it already so much better, because the whole team can access the message threads, get involved. It's been dreamy. So big changes, but it's just making the whole, it's starting to finally really feel like I've always wanted it to, pictured in a lot of senses. And yeah, getting that service element there. But there's loads of bits had to come together to make it, or to get it to that point. So there we go. I am going to get into your questions now. I was just bouncing around a few bits there, weren't I? So I've got some absolutely big battles going on over on the auction. And yes, let us get it. And actually, what I can do while let me put this on. I think it's on it, yeah, or maybe not. I'm in a different profile at the minute. There we go. Look at that. Isn't that posh? Yes, if you want to that, and I get this wrong. Look, oh, it is there. It is there. Look. That you can scan that QR code. That'll take you straight through to the registration for that'll keep you straight through to the registration to get on the auction system. If you're not registered already, it's completely free. That way you can also join the live chat that's on there as well, and bid if you want to. Right, questions. We'll leave that bit on there for now. Feeding Saki balance, 190 gram a day, temperature 21 degrees. Going to start with growth. Would I feed the same amount, or do I feed lower and work up again? Amount should be fine, Matthew. What you might find is, because it's a little bit more intense, you know, your filters might squeak a little bit for a little while, but you're at a decent temperature. So yeah, I would feed the same amount. The impact on the fish will be different, as in you might just start seeing a bit more bulk than you would with the balance. But other than that, just carry on as you are. Like I say, your pond might just feel it a little bit. So, but just push. You're at a decent enough temperature just to push through it, 100%. Andy, yes, they have got certificates, if I remember right. So happy days there. It's time, we're calling time on that. Or they're at the end of the grow out period, should I say, by, well, I say end of this month. We're pretty much there, aren't we? End of this week, I'm going to start dialing it down. Good question. What's the best temperature for pond through summer if you can afford it? Anywhere in the realms of 22 to 25, you're going to get real optimal growth. You want to be in a position, however, where you are obviously feeding maximum at that point. So, and bear in mind, if you've got bigger fish, especially if you step up to 25, you've really got to keep your foot on the gas with that feeding if you want to keep a decent level of body there as well. So depending how you're doing it, you know, if it's 22, you're more comfortable, that extra 3 degrees might just be pushing it that bit more, then you'll still get cracking results. Because what you're gonna have, even if you're at 22 and stable, is better than, say, you know, being ambiently controlled and having some, you know, a week at 25, then dropping down to 22, 20, then back up to 25. You can't build anything off the back of that. So yeah, temperature, if you know, 22, if it's a case of you know, watching the budget on that one, would be, if you're stable, you're going to get cracking results. I can promise you that. Have you noticed any difference in feeding capability performance in the showers running Mountain Tree over the showers running the cheaper Sugar Ray? So I think initially, it happens. I got not misled. I'll probably gauged it too early, but on the back of it went into a mature pond, but the media itself won't have colonized up to have really had the impact. So I ran it primarily on the pond with the golden corn that I raised them big Nisai through to. And I've got to say, but I could say that with the ponds with the other showers, it's at a certain point and in the latter phases of the pond, it really did keep very, very well. But at that point, the stocking was a lot lower. And ponds where I've got the other Shigure stuff, I could say the same about them. So I'm very, very happy with the pond performance where it is. Obviously, there's substantially less media in that shower than I put in the others with the Shigure stuff. So, you know, there's probably some bang for buck there in that respect. I'm energized enough from what I've seen to want to go a bit further, probably load that shower up with more of that to really start maybe seeing some big impact from it. But yeah, nothing. I mean, there's certainly nothing negative to say, and I'm not sat here looking, you know, because like I say, there's half the amount of media, so it was double the price. I think, but I used half the amount. The pond has performed incredibly well, but others have as well. So for a bit of comparison, but yeah, I think that's where I'm at a bit more time before you get me absolutely singing from the rooftops. I want to know a bit more and do a bit more testing. But yeah, so far, nothing negative to say in the slightest. Yes, Mickey, happy days, mate. That's going to be a busy. We've got a lot of fish going out of that for our collection event at the unit on May 10th as well. A lot of fish. Oh, good. Audio's all good. Happy days. Good evening. Ricky, at this time of year in Japan, how do breeders balance spawning early culling and mud pond preparation, and which of those is the biggest focus? Right, our biggest one right now is mud pond preparation. Then it's going to move to releasing a bigger fish, nisai, tosai, then on to spawning. Is the way they go. Balancing time. It's pretty much like what's going on here. You just have to work every living hour. That's it. You dial the clock right back. You stretch out every daylight hour that is possible, and you go for it. It is a busy season. It's the busiest. The thing they don't have to deal with at that time of year is they've got no customers, so they do just solely focus on farm activities. So it is actually a big part of the workload. No shipments generally to prepare for, focus on. They can actually focus, and like I say, from a perspective, it's mud pond prep, big fish, sort of nisai, tosai, and then boom, let's get some spawning. And obviously, the bigger farms, they can do a lot more at once because they've got staffing. With some of the smaller ones, they might not actually start spawning till sort of early June, so they've got to get all that other stuff done, and they're potentially working on their own. So crazy. It is just it's an intense, but it's a different intensity. If I liken it, I've experienced it, and I experience it myself here on a daily basis. The hours we've crammed in of late, and I'm talking like this morning, 4:15, I'm awake. That is normal for me in summer, but I'm already on my computer at 4:30, and it sort of just don't stop. And it's pretty much been 7 days a week for the past few weeks as well. You just have to do it. There's no, it isn't a thing for any sympathy. You fucking roll your sleeves up and get on with it. But the energy never seems to go. I mean, I will no doubt when I get home from here, if I sit down, I'll just pass out. That's how it is. But generally throughout the day, the energy from the passion and love for what you do is a phenomenal force, and it does just keep pushing it. You combine that with, at the minute, like the excitement. So like the excitement of spawning for a breeder, the excitement of getting to the new growing season as I start sorting ponds out here, or the excitement as we're launching new features on the platform, we're seeing that come to life, a picture in here and it becomes a reality. It is a different energy that I sort of live on in that respect. And the breeders live on with what they do through the love and the passion as well, that excitement of seeing what comes out the spawn. Obviously, once there's some nervy bits throughout it all, but I would say, the kind of dedication needed to do this kind of stuff at the right levels, you'd be fucked without it, because I couldn't see, what would get somebody out of bed in the morning to go and keep doing that on repeat constantly. Good question. Is it like Mickey's question there? I've fucking lost track. There we go. Anyway. Good evening. Good evening. Hi, Mark. What sort of questions that, Ray? Honestly, I have got no idea. Shitload. That is up north. That is a accurate unit of measurement. It's a shitload. So that's what we're going to go with on that one. I've not got the capacity to even. No. I could do a lot. But fuck that. I was told the other day female could have a higher chance to get tumors. I mean, tumors are not massively common. I could see it. Obviously, there's higher complexity because of the egg and everything that goes on there, but that's not. I mean, they're that rare. I've got very little experience, a handful of fish over the years. So I think probably people more in the veterinary field have been more qualified to speak of that one. But generally, female fish, there is more complexity and something else to manage in the egg side of that one. So. And yeah, a bit forgotten really, because the difference there with, and that's another thing, big females versus the males as they get bigger, there is a hell of a different management to them and different risks to them. There really is. Evening all, my pitch is 9 in the day. I know there's factor. Have we missed something off there, Lee? God, can you hear that bit? That's annoying. Yeah, come back to me on that one, Lee. Hi, Ricky. I have a show where the Benny looks like it's bubbling or peeling away. Do you think I should leave it or see what happens or move it on? Thank you, Kevin. That possibly, without seeing it, sounds like that could be a bit of hikui or something along those lines. So, yeah, difficult to treat. It's kind of like herbally based treatments, a bit propolis maybe, or it might just be some bennies genuinely. Goskis can be an absolute pig with it. Do suffer. It can be a nightmare. So I'll have to leave you to see whether you want to try and persevere with that one or move it on. Ricky, never used salt in 30 years of koi keeping, but as you know, having a new pond soon, would you always use salt on a new pond or wait? So yes, I would, 100%. It's just with everything you're going to be putting the fish through, with water parameter changes and all the rest of it. That is the one. 100%. 100%. I'd be salting up 0.3 and leave it there for a good while. Right, let's have a look. I'm going to pull that up. The reason I stopped there for a minute, I don't like to take this time to do stuff related to sales and admin and all the rest of it, because this is your guys' time for fish talk. But yeah, so we've got on the new system, we can update the status of it. If there's something here, we're not 100% happy to ship it, or for whatever reason, we've maybe moved fish. I've had a pond recently, I moved fishing from 3 ponds. You know, this is not something you see at general outlets, so to speak, because this is it's a working farm to the biggest degree, really. And at that point, I've got to make sure them fish are settled. So it's almost like a quarantine period again, where I just want to make sure nothing happens. Temperatures are too warm. I lock the pond, it locks the fish. You wouldn't be able to go and book one for your shipment, and it tells you it's unavailable to ship. I've not actually read all that, James, either. But yeah, that's that. And that is the point of it anyway. So we're not, just checking things all the time, constantly. It's got to be 100%. The last thing we want to do is move a fish if it's not. And that's 100% by my standards as well, which is immaculate. So yeah, I think it was important, and it's just obviously a great way, two-way communication. We built notifications into it now as well, so when the status of a fish changes, you get a ping through the site or an email notification as well. And it's just allowed because there are, and I think that's probably a good bit to explain. It's not conventional. We don't just put stock in a stock pond. Remember, I've done this. When I grew up in my dad's shop. It's my core learnings. So you got stock in a shop, and it's a very different method of keeping. Those fish can't be fed heavily because you're netting sometimes all day. Fish are getting packed. So you've got to be really, really careful. And it's a high turnover environment. Fish can wither in systems like that really quickly. I'm not operating like that, and I never will do. So the benefit that we have, and because we've got everything structured with the shipments, shipment preparation, a protocol, all those bits, what it allows us to do is do the prep properly. So when the fish are in the ponds day to day, we're able to feed them properly. Now, an issue comes like with the overwintering, be completely open about it. We've got ponds heavily stocked, overwintering. Sometimes they can split a fin, or just for whatever reason, every other fish in the pond, and there's just a couple looking a bit off it. They're throwing a bit of mucus or not looking great. So, and that is what it is. We just need to then go and deal with that. But obviously there needs to be a system for it. And that's exactly what we baked into it. Two-way, we can lock a fish off, whatever it is. I moved some fish the other day because we needed to. We're just holding 12 last fish in a pond. The customers moved them in another sold pond. 2 days later, they're showing sort of sleeping sickness, mild symptoms of it. You just think, for fuck's sake. But then that's that. So straight in, lock them fish off, and then obviously we'll deal with it. And as soon as it's ready, we'll release them back. So it's obviously a massive, massive part of the job. Reputation hinges on the quality, the welfare standards of that stock. It would be nothing, it's all right raising all these fish, showing you fantastic pictures and videos, and you get them turning up looking an absolute shit show. It's not the one. So yeah, sorry, Jay. I thought that was like I said, I don't like to dive into questions relating to stuff that is that can be dealt with through the platform, through a submission ticket. So yes, right, next one. Are the new males ready to go, Miss Toyota? Everything is ongoing with my spawning stuff at the moment. So I'm hoping to know. Let's say there's been too much bubbling away in the background. It's probably not had the attention it needed because of how busy we've been here. But you know, Rie's working on some bits to see where we can get to with everything and the ideas I've had as well. So time will tell. A bit more patience. On that note, let me just see if I can ping this video over, because obviously I've got the Miss Toyota selection, so all the customer fish from that grow out did get pulled outside. Now we're I think it's maybe tomorrow or Friday, Cole's going to be doing all the update videos, and then I'm going to be sending them out through the platform. Another feature I absolutely love. So if you've got fish growing on like there at that point, there'll be an update added. So there'll be pings going out and you get to see your video, new size updates, and away you go. So, but in that, I've now currently got the what are my official Miss Toyota Tatigoi. I think there's a couple we did in prize competitions in this pond as well. And I just thought I'd get the video then, because honestly, at some point we'll sit down and really document this whole. I think it would be cool to make a bit of a documentary style video of the whole thing, because I think I've said before on one, bit of an emotional roller coaster. But where these have got to right now, which I'm just loading up, honestly, I could not be happier. And the quality's there. Obviously, you know, there might be debates around the numbers, viability, all the rest of it, but the quality's there in that. But the transference of the body, I believe, from the female, because it's been so consistent, is quite remarkable. The bone structure on these things is just on another level for a first hit at doing it. Let's get this on. I'll see if I can kill. Oh, there's no sound on it. Anyway, there you go. So there they are. So this is now officially just my Tatigoi pond. Like I say, a couple of ones in there. But you can see, like, I mean, just shot in the pond, you can see the body, the power in them, the shoulders, the size of their heads. And that as a pond of Showa with them heel sorry is absolute levels. That is what the whole thing was about, because there's just not a chance I would ever get that quantity of fish like that from a breeder. Not a chance. And evolving all the time because of the strong Dainichi characteristics. You know, my head's really got in the game with that now, so I know what I'm dealing with. And you know, a bit of the Sumi fallback I spoke of is starting to happen. It's incredible. I'm blown away. I just can't wait now to see them progress and actually see some Nisai in front of me, which are going to be of a substantial size as well. You know, it's just going to be mental. It really is. So yes, I sit here now a super happy man with where that's got to. And yeah, on from here. Obviously, I've learned a lot about what Miss Toyota herself is really capable of, and I think that's been the biggest bit. The learning has been awesome throughout it. Learned so much just in that, from that one spawning, all the period around it, different conversations I've had with other breeders. It's yeah, been epic. It really has. Hi Ricky, I have a pond of only females. One of them is looking a bit eggy. Is there anything I can do to help her reabsorb, i.e. temperature? Yeah, you know, reabsorption, it's not the time of year for reabsorption. Generally, obviously, it comes more in the autumn, winter, and it's done over a really short period. I think sometimes there's some confusion here where it's potentially a female that's just got a bad body line, and then it accentuates the egg and how it's actually being carried in the body. So if you look at it from a side profile, it's sort of like that kind of handlebar effect. You see that it's really common in Kajaku. So that body line, what should be a nice, really steady curve, in fact, not even that much, steady curve through to the back, you end up more with this one like that. And that body line means you've not got the same area there for all the egg to spread out, so it concentrates in an area. I think there's often confusion between that and it actually needing to get, but obviously the egg builds up because there's not the area there. If you look at Miss Toyota when you've seen her, doesn't look like she's got egg, not from that stereotypical image of it looking rounded underneath, but she's of course absolutely heaving with it. But because the belly line is right and so good, all the egg is being carried proportionately. You don't see that that big bit. Dan is on that one next week. I've still got to get the date out, which I am on. Ian and Ricky, keep looking back at the update videos from my 3 grow on fish. Done a mega job as always. Looking forward to the end of these Sankey finishing, growing and getting those updates too. Yes, not too long, mate. And I am, of course, very, very glad that you're happy. Also, Mr. Toyota Fish Mine saying ready for collection, but Chris isn't. Tom, I'm going to say it again, mate. Drop me or a support ticket on that one, and that'll get dealt with off of here, pal. Yeah. Anyway, I love it. I love every minute of it. So it's not like it's a thing, but there's just realities. It's intense, really, really intense. Does it sound like a sparrow? I've got no idea. There've been some lively birds singing at the minute. I love it, though. Love it. Nagamis are they dropped into some sleeping sickness quite badly, so they're recovering from that at the moment. What do you think about the black Budo Cormo variety? Is that being said in a sense like someone? I don't know why I just picked up there from that someone saying that like somebody said it as it's something new. I really hope not, because Budo Cormos and everything have been around for yonks. But what do I think about them? I absolutely love them. Years back, the very first years of Japan with my old man, we were getting some phenomenal ones from Maraju, who still produces from that same bloodline now. A few other guys as well. And I know they've become really quite popular. They're a very, very challenging variety. They're a challenge one to grow to any size and keep the pigment looking good, to keep a white base as well, because there's a lot of sumi sat in the skin. They're hard to read because ultimately what you've got is there's Benny sat under there as well. And they can actually lose the Benny but keep the kind of sumi base. Now, you'll know when that happens because they look horrendous. But yes, they're challenging. When they're good, they look fantastic. When they've gone wrong, they want that. I mean, it's absolutely awful. You could say that about a lot of fish, really. But yeah, a few more guys, I think, as popularity grows, they're doing it. Marushin's been very prevalent over quite a long period of time. I've had some great ones from him. But you will do well to see one of any size or real quality examples at 3-4 year old sort of general size. So difficult, let me tell you. And it's not a variety you would catch me if it was a finished prime example. I mean, it'd be so fucking expensive anyway. You'd probably not catch me buying it. That being said, I'm a maniac, so who knows? But you wouldn't catch me paying big monies in the sort of Tosai realms and stuff like that. You'd want to be careful how you raise it. If it was a koi show one, I would probably say be more suited to bonsai style raising and taking great care of it rather than trying to max it out, because it's not a variety you want to try and max out. Hi, Ricky, can you discuss pros and cons between a paper filter like Genesis? I've not heard of that. Versus drum filters. I've heard they're much quieter, but equally, if not more effective. Yeah, all I can presume, I mean, paper filters got me thinking of one of old cartridge filters, and they were an absolute nightmare. So I can't really, I don't know what it is, can't pass comment. The drum filter side of it, where I'm at with that at the moment, to be honest, seriously contemplating. The ORs are one running pump fed. I keep saying that has impressed me that much. I am seriously considering rolling that out over the filter I had designed myself. The trade-off, neither's perfect. The mechanical side is obviously performing, and still that I don't know how long that oars have been running now. The screen's not been touched, nothing. That thing's just run. It's done very, very well. I forget it's there, in fact. The one I've got is I've got the brushes. You've got that intervention on it, but my system's got substantially more bio. Excuse me. And then obviously I would say that's the Oasa compact one that I'm using there. I've gone off on a tangent here, and the bio is probably the bit that lets it down. It swings and roundabouts, given that they're not. I mean, it would be swings and roundabouts everywhere there. I mean, the ideal thing, it's not going to happen, would be to have a drum in front of that system I'd done, but I'd want it to be like the Oasa drum is. So it'd be like putting one of them in front of it. Fucking bonkers. And I know they obviously do bigger ones, but I've not got the footprint for it. So that aside, anyway, on the quality of it, I've been very happy, and I am contemplating, because just looking on there with how that's been, if that continues to be like that over time, obviously for me as a business, there's operating time there. Obviously the other side to it is, obviously it's not got the sensitivity of the water levels with the gravity side. There's still an element there I'm not completely sold on, in all honesty. But that's more of a, if you've got that well managed, as in you're not putting mass influxes of water in there and not knowing it through auto top up, because I've seen that. It's not too bad, but I don't know. Paper filter to me just sounds like it'd be a giant pain in the arse. Drums, again, you've still got to be careful. And the cheaper examples of drums, there are known issues out there. If you get a bad drum, it will drive you fucking potty, as my bad drums have driven me potty for years and years now. Got one down at the moment with another fucked cleaning pump. So yeah, it's just a nightmare when they're shit. But you can say that of anything, really. So that are water pumps when I've had them, or anything. How the bloody hell do you get the pond being 4 weeks, no ammonia but nitrite? Just, yeah, you've got no hope. I mean, 4 weeks, you've done well. You've got your ammonia cleared. Maybe you'd even still be a new spike there if you hit it hard enough. But I think birds just flowing at window then. But now your nitrite's probably going to be there for the next year. So get used to it. It takes way, way longer than you think. And nitrite is very, very tricky stuff to get rid of. It needs time. Your pond has no maturity. You've just cycled the ammonia phase. Even establishment of the ecosystem, you know, I'm not calling that 6 months. It'll be starting, 12 months more like it, 18 months. Yep, there we go. That's some realistic time frames. Ricky, would you treat for flukes at 10 degrees? Standard Lernex, thank you. Depends how, well, generally, yes. Look, I mean, depends on the circumstances, but obviously if you've got, if you're feeling like they're looking like they need treating and you've identified it and there's a few and they're active, you need to treat it. Yeah, for me, where I've been at with flukes, I mean, I am still using doses of PP to manage this, testing and playing all the time, but it's some quite substantial doses. But I've been the fluke-esque, to be honest with you. I might as well you're just like pissing in wind at the minute. I am fucking fed up with paying money for that. I've generally not been a big user. I always been Lernex. I don't know why I've kind of gone that way. But Lernex is back here now. I did actually have some stubborn ones on a batch that had sleeping sickness, and you get a few fish that can just struggle a little bit, and I actually used Lernex Pro on them in the end, and it did a good job, because I'd tried Fluke S before that and just nothing, even in really warm water. So I'm still a big advocate of Lernex. Just the one thing I always say and bear in mind, because it's been quite common, is watch out for secondary costia from it, because it is quite an aggressive treatment. It really is. While you're all here again, still, let me just remind you, if you'd like to get set and registered on my new platform for the chat, it's just open chat for the community, or for bidding. You can use that QR code right there. Look, that's to get you straight into to the registration form, and you can come and join us and join the madness. I'm waiting on the answer for that one at the minute, Luke. So when I know something, mate, I probably won't let you know, but you'll find out when there's something coming up for auction. I can tell you that. Here we go. Lee's back. Evening all. My pH is at 9 in the day. I know there's factors this time of year, but what's your thoughts? Get it down. Yeah, that's high. I don't like that. Lee, are you sure it's definitely 9? It's maybe worth using another test kit that can be quite tricky to match up. But have you got any factors in there around the pond? Any kind of concrete, lime substances, anything like that that could be driving it up? What is it out of your tap? Dave just said so, and I know what's happened there. Maybe I look like a twat. What's your thoughts? Get it down or wait till it comes down naturally? Yeah, again, look for anything that could be pushing it up, and I'd probably want, what is it out your tap? You need to know that bit, because if it is that out your tap, you're going to struggle to keep forcing it down all the time. So it'd be worth getting to know that one. But then if it's lower out your tap, you need to look for what can be driving it in the pond up that much, and work on getting it down a bit. So QR, he said, so remember, I've obviously my screen. Dave just said QR's on the other side. On mine, it's not. Obviously, the fucking things flip round, isn't it? Brilliant. Brilliant. Looking like an absolute dickhead. Dear. With a female koi full of eggs, does there need to be a male in the pond to stimulate? Or no, she'll not release them, Mickey. You need a male in there for him to get all that shit going. Best way to deal with blanket weed, algae, water's not green, just drums working overtime. If it's that bad, I mean, generally a lot of mine, I was thinking about this the other day, I've not had to treat any blanket weed in so long, but it's just because it's managed naturally by the stocking densities in the ponds. I've seen one pond's, struggled a bit. I've ended up chucking a load more fish in there just in the short term because I needed to. And yeah, they've started ripping all that to pieces. But Columbo algatin has always been my favorite. Very, very unaggressive. Doesn't fucking destroy the environment like I do. No nasties in there. No nasty metals. Just never seen any negatives from it. And it does do the job slowly and effective. That's the way you want it to do, rather than crazy radical change that almost happens overnight to your water body. What's your recommendation for lowering the why, Andrew? I get there must be some thought there along the soft water debate or something. I'm guessing. I don't even test GH. Don't bother with it. Full stop. So I would say probably the best way of dealing with it is get that test kit, see how far you can throw it over a hedge and let one of your neighbours enjoy it, mate. Is probably where I'd go with that one. Yeah. I just not one I waste any time on. So I can't believe that I've just hit the bottom there, other than you lot telling me I'm a maniac pointing in wrong direction. And we've got 15 minutes now. Am I getting 15 minutes off, or has anybody got any more questions? Because I will quite happily take the 15 minutes and run. And Carl's in. You forgot my second question. Oh, there we go. I've clearly missed one as well. There we go. Evening, Ricky. My Kawasaki had from you has finally started developing. Soon we got some in the fins and 3 small circle patches. Yes, there you go. It's the start. Got to be patient with these things. You really, really have got to be patient. And there you go, Andrew. That's best advice you've ever had, mate, in it. Let me know how far you managed to throw it. Ben, no, it's not available for American customers at the moment. I think, if I remember right, Dan said you'll be able to register, join the chat and whatnot, but you will not be able to purchase, unfortunately. Right, let's have a look for Matthew's question I've missed. Oh, I did as well. Here we go. Stocking questions. How many fish would you keep in 1,400 gallon long-term feeding, heavy, some nice size and growth? I start with 20. How much do I look to keep in the end? Matthew, I'm going to keep my hard line on this one. The whole thing, stocking levels generally all dictated by feeding. That's going to be your one. So I could tell you to keep 20 fish in there at heavy feeding. What are we calling heavy feeding? What amount of food? If you're only running, let's just say a standard Nexus, a standard media, 50 litres, even compared to say the one I'm running out there, it's fully loaded with media, that's going to be a different story because it's going to be different feeding levels. We could still keep the same 20 fish, just how we feed those 20 fish and how that water is managed is going to be a very different scenario. So I mean, as a ballpark with the space you've got, you could keep 20 fish in there. I'm thinking there, 1,500 gallon pond, 20 fish in there for a long time and grow them up really well. But obviously the feeding is going to have to increase over time. So it's going to be your ultimate dictator on that one. What you might also find as well, you grow the 20, you think, fuck, this is all struggling. You maybe add some additional filtration or you get rid of a few fish. If you get rid of a few fish, you're still probably going to find you're going to maintain feeding where you're at, and the pond might still be struggling. So all the time it's filtration capacity and feeding capacity is what you are ultimately managing, and you can kind of design that. I know for a fact you could use ChatGPT, Claude, any bit of AI right now with the rough data from fish length in getting estimated volumes and feeding 1 to 2% per day of total body weight would give you an idea. And a lot of the modern medias have got quotas out there what they're possible on. Other than that, it's trial and error and see how your pond gets on, see how it performs. Really, for me, it's the trial and error bit. That's how I know I can run the ponds that I've got down there. I know if I want to feed more for volume, where stocking needs to be, different ages, sizes, the whole shebang. That is just all from trial and error and experience with them ponds, and you'll learn a lot from that bit. So hope you can make some use and sense of that. Let's have a look. Oh, we've gone all mad since. There we go. Hi, Ricky. Why does the sumi drop off when you bowl a fish? So it really depends on the variety, and it's a lot to do with the sumi quality and the way the sumi actually roots in the skin. Proper deep, inky, solid black sumi will never do it. It tends to be on a lot of varieties, and it's a stress reaction when they're in the blue bowl, the different environment. But yeah, it tends to be, it's hard to describe, but it is generally, you sort of generally link it back to it being lesser quality sumi because it's not got the depth in the skin. It's kind of sat more in the top of the skin, so it's vulnerable when there's a stress reaction or something like that. It lightens off. That's not every case. I don't want you to start looking at your fish thinking that's shit. It might look fantastic. Sumi is very complex stuff, so trying to fit everything into a catch-all to answer that question isn't that easy, but it is generally where it's at. Highest level sumi rooted deep in the skin, you'll never ever see that happen. How is your filter performing? It's performing fantastic, absolutely fantastic, but there is elements, like I say there, with the maintenance. And if I wanted to turn the screw with the feeding, which I've not got around to doing yet, not quite sure, it probably might need a little bit more mechanical capacity in there than it's got, in all fairness. But biologically performing a treat, the fish, the water, everything, I'm very happy with it. Like I say, I've made some tweaks. I've got a Mark II here that didn't quite turn out right, but now since I have got that decision to make which route I'm going to go down, and I am really torn because, like I say, neither actually fully ticks the box. But I get the feeling the one that would tick all the boxes then wouldn't tick the cost box. So there's all the realities that we all have to face. That's really going to depend on organic loading. I mean, if you can still physically see it, it be there. It's got a methylene blue element which tends to linger around a bit more. So if you can see it, I definitely won't bother. But you probably want to, before dosing with anything else, you probably want at least a day or two of it being completely clear. Got to learn X after. Yeah, 2-3 days after it being clear before you go in with anything else. On the Cytoquarka, what growth do you expect in the grow on? Plenty, Luke. Plenty. I mean, we've got about 20 weeks here, haven't we? So I think you're going to be in that 15 to 20 centimeter realm. It's the rate they grow. Obviously, they've had a massive splurge. There's going to be a lot more of the volume side to come out of it. So, but definitely be in that ballpark. Best way to kickstart bacteria for the biofilter when starting up the new filter system. The best way is to get some fish in there and start feeding. You can do it artificially, dosing it with ammonia and bringing it around that way if you want to. But remember, there's a whole ecosystem that has to form anyway. Don't just focus in on those couple of parameters. It's the whole broader picture. You know, bacteria groups, good and bad. There's going to be a rat race there at this initial phase. All sorts, and that's why you can't just do the whole thing sterile. You do need to get fish in there at some point. Gary, no, I didn't. I've been far too busy for that, mate, unfortunately. It is one on the back burner for when we get to content for proper content, in-depth stuff for the channel again when I've got somebody in. 200 litre K plus moving beds. Yeah, I mean, 200 litres is a good chunk in your 2-tier backy shower. But I say I just revert to what, you know, no different to what I said before, Matthew, on that one. Always try and start with LearnX. I want to remind people here that LearnX Pro was designed for stubborn, really stubborn use cases. And it is just used as the standard. I see a lot of people pounding ponds with that stuff. It's pretty strong. It's pretty potent. I'm a LearnX first. It's a long time. I have not actually used the Pro since it came out. Because there was a few things back then I was just a bit like, yeah, this could be a bit much. But like I say, I used that the other day. It did do the job. But I used it for what it was designed for, a stubborn case. But generally, day to day, the proper LearnX. Good evening. Got my update on my Cyto Maxcar back the other day. Wow, what can I say? Absolutely blown away with the size of it now. And can I only say thank you so much, Ricky and team. My absolute pleasure, Paul. Glad you liked it, mate. It does look pretty awesome. What do you test and how often? We test KH once a week, and anything else should a pond not be performing the way I expect it to, and probably oxygen as well in higher summer. But that was generally more of a once I'd done a few tests and understood, you know, what was going on at different times of day. That's not really changing all that often, just seasonally and temperature related. When are you going to start your new big pond? Conversation is still going on with the builders on that one to get a booking. Hello, Ricky. Last year I bought an Oya Asagi toe size 30 cm. Her orange belt started to come up. Now she's grown very well to 48, but lost all the orange chance of it coming back. That tends to be really part of the process with Oya Asagi. And it's annoying, isn't it? It really is. But yes, needs time. It can be really, really stubborn. It can be 3-4 years old, around that realm, before you start getting the resurgence. I seem to think there's a bit here around light that could be playing its part a little bit. So, but bear with it. If it was there, you have a good chance of getting it back. If it was never there, yeah, I'd be praying for you right now. But bear with it. Last one, and then that is me done for this one, because I literally feel like someone's pissed in my eyes at the moment. Evening, Ricky. Is that if there was only one breeder in Japan, what a question to end with, you could deal with going forward, who would it be and why? Oh, only one, eh? Actually, it didn't. If it was only one, it'd be Taniguchi. And how many of you was expecting that? Honestly, in fact, go on, tell me in the comments if you're watching. Who did you think I was going to say? Let me tell you for why. I've always really got on with the guy. I as well do pretty much everything, deal with him on a one-to-one basis directly. So it's you know, I liaise with him. I think he's a great individual. I love his breeding ability, and he does so much for such a, I say small operation. It's quite big in size, but he's only got himself and a couple of others. But you know, since that was even back in the early days, just the Go Sankey side. But now, if you actually look at what he's doing, and of course, you know, the stuff that fascinates me, there's always phenomenal genetics and thought behind what he's done. The whole experience, access to what you can get value for money wise, all the rest of it. It's quite phenomenal, and it's generally always one of my biggest highlights. I mean, the guy's complete fucking nightmare, but everyone here takes the piss. He's like a brother from another mother. That's a mouthful to say as well. So and because he's obviously really focused on what he's doing. He's running a fish farm, not got massive amounts of staff, so much going on with it all. But now you get to Taniguchi, and now you've got all three Go Sankeys having a concerted crack at Showa. You've got his Goshki that he does. He has Kajaku every now and again. The golden corn thing is obviously, you know, just a whole thing in its own. The Matsukawabaki stuff. There's the new Kikukuryu Matsukawabaki cross from this year. There's absolutely all sorts, and there's quality, deep genetics. So that the whole thing combined now, for me, you know, I generally, when I'm there, like last time was with me, the client who comes with me, and you know, we stayed there the night before. I went out for dinner with him, made me eat that fucking, what is it, that poisonous puffer fish? I forget what it's called now. Fugu, is it? I think. Oh, even when he brought it over to the table, whatever bit of fugu it was fucking rank. And I'm looking at this thinking, why? It smells disgusting. Why? And there's a good chance if it's not prepared, I mean, it was a top drawer restaurant, but if that's not prepared properly, it's killing me. Didn't have a lot going for it, really, did it? But all that, there's that side of it. That's a personal side. But when it gets down to the fish, obviously, then the Go Sankey, there's now all three versions of his Go Sankey in Ginrin as well. Just so much there. This is all from one farm, and his quality standard is just remarkable. So that would be the one. That's what sprung straight to mind. Of course, there's a lot of guys there, but you're asking me if there's only ever one. Obviously, I want to get the most from it, and I think that probably offers the most things that I would enjoy from that one place. So there you go, Jason. I think I caught a few out with that one. Fujo is obviously a given, but that's, you know, let's face it, of the things I've just described there's not that level of variety. So yeah, there you go. You limit me to only one. I'm going to have to max out on that one big time. Some interesting ones there. What we got? NND Saito. I think that's meant to be Shigeru. Shigeru Dainichi. Fujo, NND or Saito. NND. I thought Saito. NND Saito. Yeah, of course, I love Saito to bits. Probably, you know, that's probably a close one in that respect for the symbol. There's, again, not even that diversity there that Taniguchi pumps out. I was forced into it, Ray. I was forced into it. You won't be doing that with my puffer either. It'd eat my face before you even tried. Anyway, I'm going to leave that one because I am going to sign off, ladies and gents. Been a pleasure to be back, catching up with you all. I've got another day of the madness tomorrow, of course. But other than that, I will be back next week. And you never know, we might have some news on the videographer side of things. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed for that one, because honestly, it's like not having that here how we typically do, and it's like having it's just having a body part missing. It's frustrating, because it's a big part of what we do, and I really love it. So fingers crossed. Enjoy the rest of your evening, everyone, and I'll catch up with you again soon.